Hello everyone, welcome back to Hannah's Happy Home. Today's video is going to be a complete makeover of our mudroom entryway area. So we're going to go all the way back to when we first got the keys to this fixer-upper about 8 months ago. This is what this room looked like. And then we had contractors come in and remove the texture on the walls, do a new lighter, smoother texture, prime and paint the walls. We did all new doors, hinges, handles. We installed new vents, light fixture, and then Jalen installed this beautiful tile flooring here in this whole laundry room, entryway area, and also the guest bathroom. I want to take a quick moment here at the beginning of the video to say a big thank you to Benjamin Moore for sponsoring today's video. I'm so honored that they're sponsoring this video. We're going to be using Benjamin Moore paint to help transform this mudroom area here a little bit later in the video. Okay, so then we put a shoe rack in the corner and this room just sat like this for the next couple of months. It ended up just being a catch-all all the time. So we decided it was time to transform this corner, make it into something a little bit more appealing and functional. This is the first thing that you see when you walk in the back door, and it was never very fun to walk in the back door and be greeted by all of this mess and all of these shoes. So the first thing we did was to clear out this space. I got the floor vacuumed, and then Jalen capped off that plug-in that was right in the middle of the wall. We didn't really need it, and it was going to kind of be a little bit awkward just sitting in the middle of the accent that we're going to build here on the wall. So we went ahead and capped that off, and we're going to be covering it up with some wood here in a second. The first step was to build our floating bench. So we got out the stud finder and Jalen found and marked all of the studs on the wall. And then we decided how big we wanted the bench to be, how high up we wanted it on the wall. Then we went out to the shop. Jalen cut the 2x4s and he's building here the inside frame for our floating bench. So the inside frame of your floating bench will be all 2x4s. We decided our bench was going to be 45 inches wide and 15 inches deep. Once Jalen had all those boards cut, then he just pre-drilled all of the holes for the screws so that the wood wouldn't split, and then he screwed in 2.5-inch Torx screws to secure this inside frame together. Once the inside frame was made, we brought it inside and secured it to the studs in the wall, 18 inches off the floor. And be sure that you have a big level like this to put on top of the bench as you're building it, just to be sure that everything gets straight. We had to build a little support with 2x4s to go underneath the left-hand side of the bench. On the right side, we could secure it to the wall, but not on the left-hand side. So we built this little support, and it actually ended up being my favorite part of the bench. Once we got it all stained and everything, it looked so cute. Jalen did an awesome job on this. Now we are going to add the top and the sides to the bench. So for the top, we used 3/4-inch plywood, and we cut that 45 by 15. Like I said, that was going to be the dimensions of our bench. And then for our side pieces, we're going to be using 1x6 boards. When we do these projects together, we spend a lot of time throughout the project just stopping and talking about what our next step is going to be, how we should do it, We don't have it all completely figured out right away. Sometimes we're learning as we go, and I edit out so much footage of us just talking and figuring things out. We were trying to figure out what the best way was going to be to secure these front boards onto here. We ultimately ended up just deciding to glue it all on. We glued the top piece on and the sides with wood glue, and then Jalen put some weights on top and clamped all of the sides. We let that set for a while, and thankfully it ended up working perfectly. Okay, now we are going to pause on the bench a little bit and start working on that back accent wall. So we found the thinnest plywood that we could find, and that is what we are going to be putting on the very back of this accent wall. And then we'll be putting our 1x3 boards on top of this. So we cut this out 66 inches high, and then we brought this inside and measured to cut out for the light switch. And then we started measuring and adding our 1x3 boards to the front of this. So we did a 1x3 board on the bottom and the top, and then we did 4 1x3 boards going vertically here in the middle. And then Jalen cut 3 smaller pieces to go up here at the top to make the little square design. So while I ran down to the hardware store to get wood filler, Jalen filled in all of the cracks here and the nail holes so that this could start drying and we could paint it all the next day. And this project took us about a day and a half to complete. I always forget to say how many days these projects take, and I always get questions, you guys wondering how long do these projects actually take us in real life. So when I got back with the wood filler, Jalen used that to fill in all of the cracks along the edge of this bench, just so that we could get a nice smooth look with no cracks, and it turned out really awesome. Then he just used a sander to sand all of that after it had dried, and he ended up taking the electric sander actually to the whole entire bench. And then I came in with the wood stain and I got this bench all stained. I love the look of stained wood, and this time I was smart and wore gloves so that my hands wouldn't be stained for like a week. And I always like to use a rag to rub the stain into the wood. Okay, so now it's time to start painting, and like I said at the beginning of this video is sponsored by Benjamin Moore. We're going to be using some of their Regal Select paint to paint our accent wall. This is a premium interior paint and primer. I got it in the eggshell finish, and the color that I went with is Oxford White. It was just the perfect white color, and we were really impressed with the quality of this paint. It was nice and thick, it painted on really well. The first thing I did was to use my paintbrush to get in all of the cracks and the edges of the board and everything. And then I went in with a foam roller to do the main large sections of the accent wall. Like I said, we went with the color Oxford White, and it's really easy for you to pick a Benjamin Moore paint color with their color portfolio app. You can get on there and view virtual fan decks, save color choices, and you can use their visualizers to try on colors for your room in real time, which I think is really neat. You get to see what the color would look like in your room on there. And you can purchase Benjamin Moore paint on their e-storefront and then pick it up at your closest retailer. You can also get color samples delivered right to your door. This was just the perfect paint for this project and really helped to transform the space. Once I paint all of these corners with the paintbrush, I'm going to go in with a 6-inch foam roller and do the inside areas of the accent wall. We waited to put on the bottom board until I started painting. That way I could paint the bottom of it and we wouldn't have to try and paint right up against our stained wood bench. But we should have did this earlier that morning because Jalen then had to fill in the cracks at the bottom after we put in that board, and I had to wait for all of that to dry before I could go in and finish painting it. Okay, so now I'm going to apply a clear polyurethane to this bench with a brush, and then after that I'm going to vacuum, mop, and then we will do the final touches, and then the final reveal will be at the end of this video. It's coming very soon, so stay tuned. Now we're adding these 3 large matte black hooks to the wall. I love these. I'll put a link for them down below. I'm going to try to link as many things as I can down in the description box, and whatever I can't find a link for, I'll just type the item, what it was, and then where I got it from. So now it is time for the best part of the video, the before and after. I wish I had a better before of this wall, but this is as good as I've got, and it's a pretty amazing transformation. are beyond happy with how this mudroom area turned out. If you like how it turned out, then give this video a thumbs up. And also to add quickly, I'm storing most of the shoes in the closet here beside of here. And then we also do have these baskets under here for shoe storage. I hope that you all enjoyed today's room transformation. Thank you so much for watching, and a big thank you again to Benjamin Moore for sponsoring this video.